Alright, we're going to do a quickie break job on this. I'm only going to show one side of this thing. And by quick, I mean super quick. I'm going to take some shortcuts with this, but in general, this is what you have to do to get your brake pads off and some fresh ones on. So I've got a jack under there. There's a jack point right there. I put a wood block on the top of my jack so that my paint doesn't get fried and the body doesn't get punctured, but works pretty well. 19 millimeters for the bolts, and I'm gonna have to jack it up. Don't get it all the way up in the air until you get your bolts loosened up. There we go, we got these bad boys out. Jacked up a little bit more. I gotta go up a little bit higher here, just a little bit. Let's see, there we go, that's about right, just so it's loose. And we can pop that sucker right off of there, and there you go. Here's your brakes. See, look at that, I'm already starting to get dirty. Don't worry about it, this stuff cleans off pretty easy. It's just dust. They stopped making asbestos brake pads ages ago, so not too concerned about it. It's just dust. Alright, let me get this thing out of the way, get a couple more tools in here. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do is just take, not the entire caliper, but just the part that holds the pads on, which is this piece right here. We're going to undo this bolt. Sorry. That bolt right there. This is 12 millimeters. We're going to undo that, pop it loose, loosen this one down here. Its counterpart, also 12 millimeters. Once we get that loose, this thing should fall away, give us access to the pads. So let's give that a shot. Alright, those are pretty tight. You don't get much of a lever arm with a 12 millimeter wrench. So anyway, I kind of tapped it with the old hammer right here until it popped loose. Did that on both ends. But this guy's now loose. Up here, this guy is loose. We can finish getting this guy off here. There we go. Got the bolt out. Alright, that is stiff. Alrighty, I'm gonna get my, gotta get a screwdriver out here. I'm gonna stick a screwdriver under here and see if I can't drive it out. Let's see, where is it? Right there. Okay. Are you going to work for me? Yes, there it goes. Alright, bad boy's loose. I think I'm going to have to undo this bolt completely. It's like, due to the way this stuff is all tied together, I can't swing it far enough away to make it work. Tight. What's one extra bolt, you know? Okay, we got them both loose there. I ended up putting I think the 19, what have I got, a 21? I got a 21 millimeter right here. Fits in right there. Just to hold this in place. There's another counterpart to it right, let's see if I can show you there. There's a counterpart to it right there. So you just pinch this guy, and those two just kind of fall out. So anyway, that gets the entire caliper loose here. The entire caliper can swing out. Now your pad, in my particular case, is right there. The pad can slide out this direction, the other pad can slide out that direction. All you got to do is just kind of get a little screwdriver in there, and you can make them pop out. I have to beat on it just a little tiny bit with a hammer to get it loose. I'm going to have to put the camera down in order to get them loose, but it doesn't take much. Actually, this one's already coming loose. I won't have to beat on it too hard. You know, if you got it really pound on them, you know there's something wrong. But anyway, as you can see, that one just popped out there. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, there we go. This guy just kind of popped out. Now, how we doing as far as wear goes? Now, the other side was all the way down. Oh, I still got some life left on this side. But yeah, we're getting rid of these. What's this one look like? It's like a tire, you know. When it gets down to this part right here, you know you're about shot. So I'm not going to install with these little backing plates next time. I had just tons of brake squeak with these guys, so I'm going to experiment. I think that to some extent these contribute to the squeak. So I'm just going to install my pads. And here, let me get those out. Okay, there they are. Wherever silver brake pads. Lasted a long time. This is the second set this car's had, but I had, geez, how many miles did I get? I must have gotten 60,000 miles on these brake pads. And there's still a tiny bit of life on this side. The other side was worn out. But this is the same kind of pad. It's just this pad, that pad, same kind. Advanced Auto Parts actually had them in stock, you know, and Suzuki aerios aren't particularly common. And I don't live in the biggest of town. So, given the size of my town, it's kind of surprising that they were in stock, and they were in stock at my closest one. Yeah, they love me around here. Alright, I gotta put this stuff down for just a second. We are going to have to take one of these guys, and they got to get crammed in there on this side, and I got to cram them in on the other side, and I don't think I can do this with, well, maybe I can. Alright, that guy's in. And let me see if I can get the other one in here. Maybe I can do this without getting everything undone. I'm putting the camera down. I can't really see what I'm doing. Alright, I think that side's in. Oh, I'm stuck on the bottom now. Alright, hang on a second. Don't know. And there they go. Okay. Both pads are in. Everything's in place. I haven't bent anything. Retainers. This guy's good in place. This guy's in place and floating. These guys gotta float. This is part of why they work and don't work. So if you're stuck, see if this doesn't move. See that guy right there? So that can kind of move. If you don't move, you've got something that's stuck. So you got to pull these guys out and put some grease down in there so that that thing can float. This has got to float. It's got to move. So we got this. It moves. Got this guy. It moves. Got our pads in. Next step. This guy right here. See if I can get this guy. Show this guy. All right. You see this piston right here. That piston right there. You have to press it back in that direction. But it doesn't twist. Some of these are you make them work by twisting them. This one's just a press. You just shove it right back. So let me put this down. I'm going to shove it in there. Alright, so this one has been resisting me. So what I've done is I got one of my wrenches out there, and I have right here a circlip spreader. So you put your wrench in there, get your circlip spreader out, and then you can use your circlip spreader, get yourself a little bit more leverage. And you put your circlip spreader on there, and you just pinch your spreader until it goes back in there. And it's a slow process. It doesn't just go zip back in there. So you got to push on it and push on it and push on it. It takes a while. But it's working. You can't really see it, but it is working. Okay, so there it is. Pushed in about that far. And it took quite a bit of pushing and shoving.
What?
And so once you get it in that far, just kind of take it, lean it in about like that, and you can see that it goes and slides on. Now all we got to do is line it up down here. Line it up right up in here. Right there. Get those screws back in. And this is done, for this part anyway. Okay, so I started with the bottom one here. Still got, I haven't tightened it up yet. We got this guy in. This guy's free to float. I'll work on this top one here. Let's see if we're in on the top yet. Yes, we are. Okay, the top one's in. Okay. Things good and tight. Ready to go. Let's get the old wrench out here, tighten this up. Yes. boring tightening bolts up, man. At the right place. All right, that's pretty tight. Get this one. Oh, that was pretty tight. Didn't have to go very far with that once I got it in position. There's probably a torque spec for this, but it's only 12 millimeters, which means you know it isn't going to be all that tight. So the pads are in, caliper got pressed back out, bolts back in. Alright, let's throw a wheel back on there and tighten the lug nuts up. Alright, got everything started. So all I gotta do is tighten those down, snug, then put it on the ground and finish it up. And then we're gonna take it out for a quick spin, make sure everything's working right. Okay, we got everything snugged up here. Good. 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 All we gotta do is drop it. Hey, Dad. Yeah. Okay. We're down. Out there. Okay, so anyway, to do the job, we got the circlip spreader. That guy. A wrench. A little wrench. Screwdriver. There's the parts. Pads. Okay, all that's left to do is tighten those up the rest of the way and take it for a quick drive. Okay, there we all cranked up. One thing you're gonna do when you do this yourself, when you put your foot on the brake, you're going to have it feel very soft, so you gotta kind of pump it up a couple of times. Get the fluid back out to the caliper until that firms up, and there we go, that's good. And then, of course, you might be like me. I get out my logbook, and I'm going to record how many miles I'm at when I did my brake job. I happen to be at 97,436. And I think that's about it for the brake job. Good luck with yours.